Okay, and it's like £5 sterling on Chris Parker's site. If you want to, it's like Monday night at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. British time, and Chris and I are both doing it, and we're gonna do it like a hands-on workshop. So the expectation is that the people involved in the workshop will be in their shop with their whatever tools they have, and we will apply the textures, show some of the tricks and things we do, and then troubleshoot people, because I already know we already had some questions about the trouble, how do I do this, how do I do that, I'm not getting the texture I want, and so on. So we fully expect it to be, and it's all on Zoom, so yeah, that's what we're doing.
Great. Can you put the details in it, Matt, in our chat tonight?
Yeah, I'll have to find the link. Yes,
right.
I can do that.
We'd really appreciate that.
Eddie, Eddie?
I'm hearing you.
Eddie, it's Martin.
Martin's in here. Wait a minute, Martin. I got to find Martin.
I told you he was coming.
How are you doing?
All right. Anybody see Martin if the light him up? Then it goes. You'll see Martin to light him up.
I'll shout a lot, Eddie.
Here he is.
There he is. Hiya, Eddie.
Hi, Matt. How you making it, buddy?
I was just going to jump in and say, Matt Harbour and the English guy.
Chris Parker.
Americans and the English, 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. We're now joining forces again.
Wow.
We've always said we work together.
Here's the deal, folks. Let's go get Washington and change it.
And between us, we've brought them together, Eddie.
Good, good. There's Ronnie.
Martin?
Yeah.
Your friend Paul Hannaby has been trying to get in, and he's tried to get in 3 or 4 times. I keep letting him in, but he's having problems. If you can call him and give him a hand.
Yeah, stupid Englishman.
All right, let's watch that language now. All right. I just clicked on Paul again, and it's still not racking up. I just talked to a guy a little while ago that said he's looked everywhere on the screen, and he can't find the little place to click to join a meeting. He was on YouTube. Look at Mark Slay. He's napping out on us.
I'm not. I'm wide awake.
Okay. All right.
I'm wide awake.
Who is it who's going to bump the sleeping people off?
Yeah, that's up to Ronnie. Ronnie likes Mark, so I don't know if that's going to happen. We got a lot to chat about tonight. Right off the bat, a minute ago I was talking, and Matt was talking about that decorating elf. It is a very simple device. And then if you look at a couple of the other texturing tools out there that are knurlers, straight out knurler, some of those parts can be bought from machine shop like littlemachineshop.com. And McMaster have knurling lines to you can make a handle of a lighter piece of material than I did. I did 1/4 inch steel. But they decorate nicely. And then you have a Mark's lot, you're home free. Who I saw just now pop in.
Hey, Eddie, you talked about not oiling the bearing. Another thing, don't use air. You'll blow sawdust in and really wipe that stuff out.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes oiling and cleaning, it's not that, you've seen my shop, it's not the best thing in the world. But
Hey, Eddie.
I've had major discussions this week about that WD stuff, from how much it saves the lathe to its cures CA. I'm using them on a bad arm and making it work better. But
you got a port for that? How's that work, Eddie?
It's all right. It doesn't squeak at all now. But folks, convenience is not always the best. And you got to think about the residual material. That's why I went to that Boeing T9, because the residual doesn't collect dust. And what good is it putting oil on something that's going to be a magnet for dust? I like the idea. Don't blow. Jeffrey just now had about don't blow air in it. Wipe it out. It's really good because if you got the metal to metal contact and you have the bearing at the bottom and it holds it in and gives it the spin, you're home free. It will go all day. Now, what we said, a bushing. If you want to do a regular burr from Home Depot or Harbor Freight or one of those other big names, you need a round, a ball bearing, a magnetic ball bearing. K&J Magnetics has them. The freight might cost you a few bucks. So think about it when you buy the bearings, load up on the rest of them too. And then you put a bronze bushing above it that you can get at the hardware store. And what you've given it is a sliding and a pivot point. And with those two, when you tap it, it's not going to run forever, but it's not going to be frictioned up and bind it. No mineralizing. Okay. What's up right now? Let's keep going. Martin Clarkson put up something from the Bald Wood Turners.
That's the link for Matt Harbour. And
yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Okay. So it gives y'all an idea how to catch these folks. And share information. In a little while, we're going to talk about the sharing information part of this program and with this club, what we're doing. And remember, it is your club. There's no hierarchy or no set rules. We'll make them up as we go along. It's like when you used to play catch when you were a kid. You know, if it bounces in the street, it's illegal, stuff like that. Okay, anybody got any gallery you want to pop in right now? Oh, wait.
I got one quick one, Eddie. I got one quick one. These are the burrs that came with the decorating elf, the other two.
Yep.
So if that's what
Those
they look
Dremel.
like.
Those are Dremels.
Yep, they're 1/8-inch shaft. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've got hundreds of different ones from years and years of using the Dremel.
Yeah.
There you
and
go.
Most of them still cut for what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's a new type of burr called the Cuts-All. I wonder if that would work real well. It's just pointed pieces of carbide.
Yeah, it's not really new.
Oh, isn't? Oh, well, it's new to me.
Okay.
I wonder if it would work well in that.
It's maybe like a wire brush. I mean, I got Cuts-All burrs. Let me dig them up. Hang on.
Yeah, I got a couple of them myself, but not here, not in this room.
Paul Hannaby checked in there, Martin.
he's got in.
Oh no.
Has he come in now? I sent him the link.
Yeah, I just sort of click on for him, but he is, British. That's is Matt coming back with that? I'm gonna pop back up, put Matt back on spotlight.
I don't see it. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh well.
It tells you how much I use it. Not very much. I tell you, my favorite burrs for cutting for carving things these days is the saber tooth burrs. So just FYI. So that's why I don't buy Cuts-All anymore.
Got to go to your favorites. Hey, don't forget, guys and gals, if you're getting ready for our challenge or you're in our challenge, we're doing our Christmas ornament challenge right now. The rules are real simple. You turn a Christmas ornament or as many Christmas ornaments as you want to turn. You turn them all and then you send us a photograph. And we will take your photograph and show it to the world. Worldwide Wood Turners. But it's kind of bragging rights that you've turned this what I've done, an inside out with an offset, a stave, a segment, a hollow, urchin, whatever those are. Turn something, make it unique because it's going to be yours. It's going to be very unique. And then other folks get ideas. There's only one major rule. You have to give it away. Yeah, right. You can't go in your collection. You have to give it to somebody. Find a kid, find a relative, whatever, grandkid, and share it with them. And they'll really appreciate it. And we're going to end that on election day. November, whatever it is. And then we're going to crank up a whole new one. And I'm working on demos to get started on that. Now, Trey has been doing our Christmas ornament demo, and Trey is, I think, on ground zero for that storm right now. And he said even if he could do it, if he could talk to us, he couldn't do anything in the shop. So we'll get more from Trey on Christmas ornaments. But our next one coming up is going to be bottle stoppers. Yeah, in time for Christmas, bottle stoppers. And I just wrote it on here and I forgot it. We're going to stretch the limits. We're going to talk ink pens. I get a lot of phone calls. I welcome them. And a lot of folks want to talk about things they're doing or problems they're having, stuff like that. So I welcome the input from the members. And you don't have to be anything special, just for input. But guy today said he spent $80 on parts for 5 ink pens, and they came out terrible. And then he explained to me it's the first ink pens he turned. Okay, don't go buy an expensive ink pen kit if you want to learn how to turn ink pens. I want to throw somebody on spotlight right now and say they got something to show off tonight. That's not what I was supposed to be at. It clicked and moved, so I have to go back up to it. There it is, and there. Now it's up there. Okay, popping in. Hey, Cam, good evening.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy. You said you got a piece to show tonight.
Yes, so I did a live, was it last weekend or weekend before? And I didn't warn everybody about it because it was kind of like I just wanted to see how it was to go live on YouTube because it's kind of nerve-wracking. And I did a paint pour with some Arteza paints. And I know this is going to be hard to see because the lights and everything else. Let me see if my camera will
That looks good.
focus in on it.
Beautiful.
So this is going to be my video tomorrow night. And it's how I took 2 bowl blanks and turned it into a hollow form and then poured paint on it, like you do a paint pour for, on canvases and whatnot. And it's really hard to see. Let me see if I can shut this light off really fast. There, maybe.
You
That's
see the
beautiful.
core? Yes.
It's
Very
poor camera
cool.
quality. But
Very
anyways,
nice.
it's beautiful. And I almost didn't, I almost was going to go ahead and re-pour it because I didn't really see much color anywhere else than the pink. And then Doug from Pole Barn convinced me, no, don't. So I started coating it in resin and all these colors just popped. So I was so glad I didn't give up on it. And yeah, so that's this week's video. It's
Kim, do you know what a dirty pour is?
I do.
Okay. Have you tried one of those yet?
That's kind of what that was. I was just kind of pouring paint in a cup and then kind of letting it loose.
Okay.
So dirty pour is like you pour it in colors in a cup and then you pour that cup onto whatever your piece
Right.
is. So it's
Right.
it was kind of a dirty pour, but without having to pour in a cup first.
Well, the reason I ask is because I did this a few years ago, and I'll have to go find some pictures and stuff. But are you guys familiar with Ron Campbell? Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Okay. Ron Campbell holds a retreat in Grand Rapids, Michigan every year. We didn't do it this year, but for the last 5 years, we've been holding this hands-on retreat in Grand Rapids, Michigan in the summer. And 2 years ago, he introduced us to dirty pour on wood turnings. And one of the things we were doing was adding silicone, drops of silicone to some of the paints to get cells.
Yeah, I just bought some of that. I can't wait to use it.
It's fun. Okay, good. I look forward to seeing what you do then.
Yes, I bought some of that, and it the day I decided to do the live, the very next day Amazon delivered it. It was supposed to deliver that Saturday that I did the live, and then I didn't get it till the next day. So I was kind of disappointed I didn't get cells on that piece, but I did pour too much paint, so it probably would have gone all the way anyway. But yeah, I got the liquid silicone to use. My only drawback is I'm hoping that the resin coating will stick to it even after it's dry, because silicone and resin, they don't stick to each other. So that'll be a test, and obviously I'll show regardless to how it turns out.
Well, the ones that I finished with lacquer.
Yeah.
So
That's what a lot
and
of people have been saying that they use lacquer.
yeah, I do a fair amount of painting and stuff on my pieces. So lacquer, lightly sprayed lacquer, so if you spray something heavy, you're going to get runs, and you don't want that because you wreck whatever you did.
Yeah.
So it would seem to me that if you were coating things in resin, that might cause that same problem too. But if you light coat with lacquer, do multiple coats, it should cover it up. Sorry about the glare, guys.
Yeah, I'm horrible at painting lacquer. Well, I'm horrible at spray canning or brushing anything other than resin. So, because it levels itself out.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, if it doesn't self level, I'm in the creek with no paddles here in banjos.
So before you actually painted it, did you have to sand it really good and have a really good clean surface, or
I actually sanded before the paint pour. I sanded to 320 because I was afraid if I sanded it too fine, then the paint wouldn't really soak up and adhere. I painted a black coat on it first, just so the paint would actually just run instead of getting caught and me having to so it was all trial and error, but it seemed so far that everything I did worked and flawlessly.
You're on the right track. We primered everything we did too.
Yes.
And primer it and then sand it to 400 to get it smooth.
Oh, okay, primer it and then sand it. I just sanded it 320, painted it black, threw paint on it, and prayed. Did my best, prayed for the rest, kind of thing.
Yeah, looks great. Now, where did you start pouring it from the side or the bottom, or?
What I did for this particular one is I didn't do the opening yet. So this was all closed because I did 2 bulb lengths. So I had 2 tenons, one here and one here. So I left it closed. I shaped it and left it closed. So when I did my pour, I cut a hole in the bottom of a clear cup, shoved it over top of that tenon, which happened to be the same size as the tenon, poured my paint in the cup, and then just slowly lifted the cup and turned it so that way the colors would kind of just pour and spin around. And then I let it sit for about a week and a half maybe before I started doing the outside. Doug, actually, I had made a resin lip. This isn't wood or painted. This is a resin lip. I had made one that was too small, and Doug's like, do a bigger one, do a bigger one. So it helps to have someone else that's artsy creative to kind of push you to just do it. And I'm glad I did, because I poured a resin lip that was very similar with these colors. And it was just, I felt that it's proportionate. It's almost like a third, the thirds, a third, a third, third. So I felt that it was proportionate in the end, and it turned out. So I didn't cut this open until after the paint was all done. Then I attached my resin rim and then turned it. So yeah, and this technique really helps for those of you who don't have a hollowing tool or hollowing, rig of any sort. 2 bulb lengths put together. I made sure I had enough meat on them. They were dried bulb lengths sitting in the corner, and I was like, I'll make a hollow form. So I feel that technique is really helpful for people who don't necessarily have the equipment or want to invest in hollowing equipment right away. You can still make gorgeous forms, but they'll be in 2 pieces. Now, granted, if I hadn't have painted this, you would have seen the seam, but you can do a texturing tool or color it or whatever where the seam is at and just incorporate it into the design.
Yeah, great. Okay, I see Robert Ledbetter's got something they'd like to show tonight. Got the spotlight on Robert. Hey, Robert, we got you now, sir.
Good. Let's see if we can get where you can see this. This is a, hang on a second.
We got it. Put it right in front of your mug. There you go.
This is a piece of fogwood. I don't know what it is. I found it on the place when I was walking. And it's just got a spray-on finish.
You said spray on, but what product?
It's just a spray-on lacquer. I
Okay.
can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry.
All right. Nice looking piece.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
I got one more. Hang on just a second. This is a piece of elm that I made a little plant holder out of. It also has the spray-on lacquer. I found that's easier with the bark on.
Yep.
But that's my two pieces tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Robert. All right. Looking at some good work there. We got a few folks popping in. And I think a lot of our co-hosts are aligned on, and they're just help us run the operation. You can be part of it if you'd like to be. All you have to do is tell us if you want to be involved.
Where my chat's lost.
Dane, we got you. Dane? Here's him, but I don't see him. Okay.
You're frozen.
We'd missed our early demo tonight with Trey because of the storm. We covered that. Invited a few more folks to come on with us this week. And the word's getting around. And I'm asking if you'd please spread the word. Get friends in your club, the guys you like, the guys you don't like. Don't, and get them involved in a program. We really, really want them here so we can continue to grow. What are we up to, Ronnie, right now?
In comments, I see that Clint Hoyle says he has a piece to show.
Who's that?
Clint Hoyle.
Clint, start talking, sir.
Hey,
Good evening. Can you see me?
yep, I got you.
Okay. We got you now, bud.
Turn the camera around here. My dad gave me this 10-inch huge piece of curly maple for my birthday, and I'm like, what am I going to do with that? Biggest thing I've ever turned so far. But
Pretty. Whoa, look at the lines coming out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
All right, wipe your chin, guys. Wipe your chin. That's boy, if that finish stays that clear, that thing's gonna be magnificent. Really.
I'm
Yeah,
working on
that's
it.
some.
Like 20 layers of shine juice already.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. It's really nice. Brent's Dane's handling folks that want to be on. If you want to show a piece, put it in our chat room, and Dane Chandler, he handles our chat room. He'll tell us who's up, and then he'll click on and put your piece on the air. That's how we'll handle gallery. We had another demo lined up tonight. They were right in the middle of the eye there in Montgomery, Alabama. They promised to come back next week or a week after, and it was still staying with a Christmas ornament. They'd watched the Christmas ornament and had some ideas about finish and texture that's simple, and you use up scrap leftover whatever latex paint from the house. And what I've seen so far, it looks pretty good. Brent, do you see these guys? Brent, I can get.
I am. Is there
All right, now I got you, sir.
Okay. How y'all doing? You?
Oh, I think we're okay. Well, we don't know yet.
I've got this bowl I made here. It's oriented strand board and cherry. I put as open segments I cut and did oriented strand board. OSB.
Okay, we got you back. We lost you for a second there.
I'm sorry?
Very
We
nice,
lost you
Brent.
for a second.
Yeah, I stabilized these with cactus juice to get the OSB colored and stabilized. There's a hold up and such. And I've also got the resin piece I made. It's a little bowl filled with lichen and such. So kind of
wow,
fun little project. I also
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Got in there.
You know, I got a piece of the lichen stuff that it came from. It came off of this, found up in the forest.
Wow, that's really cool.
So, that's what I got for tonight.
Kim, 2. Okay. I'm gonna pop back out. I can't cancel the spotlight because I didn't light it up. I gotta.
Got it. You're on.
There we go. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Good. We're up to 100 participants in our meeting tonight.
Wow, that's where we'd like to be.
Yep.
A lot of folks there. I think the first sergeant's with us tonight. First sergeant, you out there?
I'm here. I'm playing with resin right now, but I'm here.
Ronnie forwarded you a YouTube the other day about a guy that was turning something using pencils.
Okay.
Did you see this thing?
I haven't seen it yet, but between work and school, I've been super busy. I haven't even turned anything this
Is that
week.
where you put a bunch of colored pencils in resin and then turn the result?
Yes. Which I've made.
He had a different technique. He was flattening one side and gluing them flat to flat to flat, and then running that through and flattening that side, and he was having a sandwich or a palette of 1/4 inch material with the colored resin down the centers of them, and then he fanned it or rolled it on a progressive fan and then turned it out. And I mean, that thing had some color, some accent.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I did do one, and one of these days I'll have to grab it back from my mom's house to show you all. But I taken one where I just I turned out a solid or a ring, and then I took 2 pieces of mulberry and put them between that and turned a lidded pot. My wife refers to it as the hamburger. That's what she thinks it looks like. But one of these days I'll grab it from my mom's house so I can show it to you all. That's one of my favorite colored pencil ones that I made.
It's funny how there's so many things I've seen. Pecan shells cast in resin and turned out. You know, most of us know about the nuts and things like that. And pine cones. Saw a nice little one about a pine cone today, and it was a Christmas ornament, and it was a pine cone cast in resin. And really, it looked like something I think Kim would have done, because the material cost was way down, and sometimes that's what we're looking for: uniqueness, cheap, and easy to turn, or probably easy to learn how to turn.
Ed,
Yes, sir.
are you ready?
I think we're ready here, Ronnie. Ronnie and I were talking this week about a few things that's been happening and some the way the club operates, and we just need to clear up some items before we get in trouble. So Ronnie, we put a little program together, and of course this is your club, but this is where I was heading when it started out just about a year ago. Ronnie?
Good evening, everyone. Our club has been together a little shy of 1 year. The end of this month, I think it's the 28th, will be officially 1 year old. And we have taken off in leaps and bounds. And as you grow this quick, you sometimes run across things that you need to correct without hurting anybody's feelings or anything else. Last week in the chat section and this week, what we're coming out about is people coming forth for other people's financial gains. And the reason I say this is because we have quite a few professional turners that are giving up their time, coming forth, showing us what they do, giving us their ideas and their techniques, and they are not looking for anything and they're not expecting anything. As that being said, I'm gonna read something to you, and if anyone has any questions, comments, or anything, please come forth and we'll talk about it and understand where we're at and in the direction where we're going. That being said, this reads, Burwidewoodturners.org is an organization for the betterment and advancement of one's knowledge of woodturning. We set out several rules as we started last year. No membership dues, no sponsorship or commercials, and no profanity. We have several accomplished woodturners who own businesses and offer demonstrations and classes as part of their operations. We appreciate all of their knowledge and shared experiences during our meetings. We have been approached and declined offers of sponsorship to stay within our original guidelines. During a recent chat, there was a promotion for a demonstration with a fee. Understand, a fee. While many different products are suggested during our sessions, these are simply provided as helpful information. We ask everyone to refrain from using the chat as a means to advertise and promote other organizations or individuals when there are specific fees to join the practice, join to participate, excuse me. We sincerely appreciate our professional turners who have abided by our rules and continue to participate and share their knowledge and expertise with our group. I think it's pretty clear what we're looking for, especially if that person is not part of our group or a one-time wannabe just to have financial gains. If there's any questions about this, please come forth, ask us, or explain the side, and we'll be happy to talk about it.
Thank you, Ronnie. Remember, folks, just like he said, it is your club. We set this thing up to be very impartial. And oh yeah, by the way, I get calls every week when somebody says, "Can I come do this and I'll give you such and such?" We're not doing that. Okay, but we get a lot of input from the membership. A lot of input. I have to show you this, and I'm trying to find his name here. Dick Store sent this in to me this week. Remember, I keep asking you if you've got a situation, a problem, a project, or whatever, to share it with us. Well, where's it at? This is what Dick came. Now look at this. See the flat spot? This is a seam ripper and a corner interrouter. Well, let me see. Seam ripper's right here, and it pulls out nickels at Amazon, and that's for us seamstresses who maybe make a mistake, have to rip something out. And the other end is a pusher outer for when they do a casing or a sleeve or a hem, and they got to push the corner out, or they have to iron down the corner so they can get a decent thing. Now, I can talk about this because my wife is probably one of the world's greatest quilters, and I get paid to say that. Gotta make a buck here somehow. But
you paid with some sugar on the cheek.
Yeah. But Dick shared this with us this week, and he also wrote out a description of how to do it. So that's going to be in this month's upcoming newsletter. And the newsletter, we try to publish it the last week of the month. And next week I'll have an honest goodness poll for you, but our webmaster approached us this week and said, maybe we should look at a MailChimp.com program for distributing the newsletters. Okay, right now our newsletter goes to Facebook. We put a little promo on it on our YouTube channel. It is posted as part of our website, so it's out there. But if you'd like to specifically get the newsletter, this MailChimp will let you register, sign up, and then when we post it to MailChimp, it'll go to you. Now, that is the only time we've ever asked you to sign up or put in an address and email, and that's very important. When we started this out, it was, I'm not going to collect your name and your address and sell it off to somebody. I get emails every day, too, from somebody, and they all have, swirled. We don't want to sell you names. In fact, I'm gonna tell you right now, that will not happen. I'll go down out of the woods if that happens, because just on your computer tonight, type in Apple Watch 6. Just put that in the top line of your computer. I guarantee you tomorrow you will have 10 different places that will sell you an Apple iWatch 6. So you see, they're always listening. So, but we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that over time, and if it seems like you want to go there, or it'd be convenient for you to be there, that's fine. Now, MailChimp can't sell your name. That's part of the deal. They will show you some advertisements around the piece that's on there. That's part of the deal. They don't keep sending you emails all day long. That's part of the deal. So we'll talk about that. We'll put a poll up next week, get your opinion, and how do you feel about it. And if we're going to continue to grow, that's what we are going to continue to grow. I'm going to say if. We are going to continue to grow. If it's a good step to take, we'll take the step. But remember, you decide. I don't decide. I just work here. You decide.
MailChimp also allows you to unsubscribe if you want.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. I used it for another organization. We had thousands of members, and it worked awesome for us.
Yeah. Works good.
And my replacement said that was a pain in and he cut it off, and it really wasn't a good move. Dane, we have anybody in the bullpen tonight?
Yes, we got Matt Harbor and then Gary Bobenhausen, followed by Doug at Pole Barn.
Well, Matt was just on with us a second ago. Matt, you got something else?
Yeah, I got something else. Let me see. Am I capable of sharing my screen? Let me share my screen. Nope, disabled. Okay, I can't share a picture. Never mind.
Oh, wait. I can do it. Wait. I think you can do it now. Try it.
Share screen. Yes, I can. I wanted to show that this is some of the paint pours I did with the cells.
Oh, wow.
And these are hollow forms, and basically what you do, and I hollowed these before I poured, and then after I thought about it, I had to make a cap to put on top so I could pour down over top of it. All right. And then I put them back on the lathe and turned off a little bit to expose the walnut on the top.
Now you're just going to make me go broke by buying two.
No. You already have the silicon. You're already there.
No, but you know how many bowls I'm going to want to do now? Like all of them.
Well, every one of these I've ever sold, Kim, has sold. So, that's why I'm showing pictures instead of pieces.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, and these are like 6 inches across. So, I had people bidding on them. So
yeah, that's awesome. That gets me even more excited.
Okay, Kim, wipe your chin.
And this stuff here is Floetrol. I can buy this at Home Depot. You mix that in, and it helps the paint flow easier.
Would that be with us for airless compressors? Airless paint guns?
I'm just using this. I bought cheap Walmart paints, Walmart acrylic paints, and I mixed the Floetrol in with it and poured it in a cup and poured it on top of stuff.
The stuff that Arteza sent me is already pour ready. Like it's pour ready. You don't have to buy any Floetrol, nothing. It's if you want cells, you just add your silicone or whatever you want for cells. But
it only takes a few drops of silicone.
The iridescent colors they sent me, those are thick like the regular acrylic, and you would need to add something to them. But they have a 32 set paint colors that are all ready to pour, which is great. Awesome. And I'll put the links. Those links do benefit me. So just so you know, if I'm going to post the links for Arteza, those do benefit me. If you're interested, you don't have to use my links. You could go to arteza.com directly, and they do sell in the UK and US, but they're pour ready. But you could use, like he said, regular acrylics from Walmart, use Floetrol, to start out. I think do it cheap.
Also, Joann's sells like 4 paint sets. So you could buy a set like, pink, purple, light purple, dark purple. in a set that are ready for paint pours. They sell a bunch of these. Joanne
Oh, that's
Fabrics.
awesome.
Yeah.
Kim, I have a question for you. Kim?
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
I'm always watching your videos, and that bowl that you were showing tonight, or vase that you were showing, I watched you pour it, and I was wondering, what did you do for the bottom where the drips off the bottom were going to be?
So during the pour, because it was connected to the tenon on my chuck, and I just taped up my chuck really good so it wouldn't get paint all over it. And so the very, very bottom here, I just took my finger and kept smoothing it out. I knew that I was going to take that off with my gouge anyway, so I wasn't caring whether it got messy. So I just kept trying to encourage the paint to flow underneath the lip. So whenever I turned my tenon and everything off, I would just take and clean that up.
Looks good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was definitely an awesome.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
I said I watched your whole video, and it was very interesting for anybody that wants to watch pouring paint. That was a good job.
Yeah, so you got to see me nervous and my armpit sweating.
Oh, everything. I mean, you were really working for that one. And
Eddie, I think we have Mark Soleil tonight in disguise.
I have a question for Matt real quick, if y'all don't mind.
Paul Barnes here.
Go ahead.
Mark?
Yeah, Matt, will silicone oil work?
Yeah, we were using one brand of silicone at Ron Campbell's, and I couldn't find it, so I just bought. I bought the closest thing I could, which I think I've actually got it here. Yeah, I bought this heavy duty silicone at Home Depot. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's just this stuff here, and it only takes it just a few drops. So you don't need a lot of silicone to get cells. So like 1 or 2 drops.
I used treadmill silicone off of Amazon. This was only, oh gosh, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't much, but it's literally like a little drop in, say, 2 ounces of paint is all you'll need. 1 little drop. That's it. So and it's real liquidy. So it's easy to add. So yeah, whatever he has. And then obviously this is another option. Treadmill, 100% silicone. Just make sure it says 100% silicone, because there are some that have other stuff in it that I don't know if it'll work. Treadmill belt. What did I say? Yeah, treadmill belt silicone lubricant. It even comes with a
little applicator tube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a question. When you guys are talking about
one
cells,
more quick
what
picture, and then I'll
cells?
be done.
Ask again, Jeffrey.
Yeah, when you're talking about cells, what are you talking about? You're putting the silicone in paint, so it's gonna kind of create some weird patterns. What do they look like when you put them on your pieces?
Let me show you real quick.
Thank you. Okay.
Hang on here. Share screen. All right, this is those 2 pieces being poured. Okay, you can see the little caps I put on the top. All the little circles and things and little dots and whatnot, that's all cells. So keep in mind that this is messy. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's what it looks like. And let me see. Can I do the annotation thing here? Can I still do that? It doesn't show it. At any rate,
Should be able to.
Maybe in Zoom.
Top of your screen should get a control button.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Well, at any rate, on the top of the piece on the left, you can see some white. Okay, the primer I used was white, Zinsser bin. And what I was doing, because I knew the caps weren't going to stay on here, I was scraping the paint off of this so it would flow down into the other stuff. So I was helping it, and you can help it. So it's, you can use like combs and stuff if you want to alter the patterns or whatnot. So
I can share my screen to show you what it looks like on paint pours. So I don't know how to share my screen.
There's a green share screen button at the bottom.
Oh, yay. Hey,
and then you have to pick the window.
Okay. All right. So this is what what the cells are. See how it separates the colors, kind of like separate like fish scales, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but you can see that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Excellent
what
example.
cells are.
Great example. Thank
That's
you.
cool.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that we were doing is like we had a base coat. So, for instance, if I wanted my black base coat, I wasn't putting the silicone in the black, but I was putting it in like the pink and the blue and the red. And then, so I would pour a layer of black without the silicone, then a layer of pink and red, and maybe a little bit of red and not so much pink and more blue, and then maybe some more black without the silicone. So you've got some paint in the mix, in the pour, that doesn't have the silicone in it. It's like your base coat.
Right.
And then the cells are being generated in the paint that has the silicone in it. And you're not mixing it, you're pouring it into the cup and then pouring it over your piece. Hope that helps.
Matt, show your finished piece again.
Okay. I'm getting the pictures off of Facebook, so I've got.
Oh, but you had some pieces there, didn't you? That
I did, but they're pictures because, like I said, they've all.
I thought you had them there. Okay.
I'll show them again. Hang on. These pieces here.
You folks have kicked over a bucket tonight.
Yeah, those
Poured all over their bowls.
It's like kids finger painting in kindergarten all over again.
Oh yeah, never enough, and it's never pretty enough. So.
Yeah, and then
And
these pieces here, like, I mean, you saw the previous picture where I had the caps in the holes, and when it was done, I popped the caps off and put it back. Left my tenon on the bottom of my piece, put it back on the lathe, and reshaped the rims there on the top to give like the little collars. So it's all a single piece of wood. I didn't add any wood. I just hollowed it and.
I can't wait to do it.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Now you guys are using what, latex
Those are
or
beautiful.
oils or acrylic? What kind of paint you guys using?
This is cheapest Walmart paint they had. Acrylic paint, 8-ounce bottles, and I think I paid a little bit extra for some of the metallic. So the one on the right, this piece on the right here, has got some gold metallic paint in it that instead of being $250 for 8 ounces was $350 for 8 ounces or something like that.
So this is the craft paint.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I got lots of the small bottles of them.
There you go.
Wow.
It's interesting. You guys are using stuff that's all right, well, if you want to call traditional woodworking, like the stuff for spraying and stuff. So this is interesting. Now with the wood, when it starts moving a little bit, the stuff's kind of still stay a little pliable. Won't show the cracks
the whole point of this is that it flows over the surface. And so one of the games you're playing, I mean, originally this is not a new technique. This is something that has been done on canvases forever. Okay. This is just, we're trying to figure out how to adapt it to wood turning. Okay. And so some of the things I did here with these two pieces is I made sure my edges were rounded so the paint would flow over that and onto the bottom. And I left my tenon on the pieces because I knew I was going to put it back on and redo the collars and so on. And so, flat surfaces work better. A friend of mine was doing, I don't remember who it was. A friend of mine was doing tall vases, and he was having issues because the paint was running faster and faster near the bottom. So, my goal with these was to try and get a mostly flat surface so it didn't all flow off of the surface.
It is some beautiful work. You have to release this from your.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do that right now. There you go.
All right, great. Okay. Beautiful work. Y'all kicked over a bucket and went all over your work. And I think, as Jeffrey said a minute ago, we're doing things that are unusual with materials that are very unusual to create our own version of art. And art's right here. All right here. You can't teach it. It's right there. I'm running through my list to make sure we don't miss anything tonight. It's coming up on a half hour after we've been started. We have another hour to go. Last week we ran a little long, but it's okay. Right until Doug had to tell that story. Doug, you got to be careful. We got to reel that back in, okay? But I see him down there. He's planning another one. We do collect photographs. We put them in our newsletter. We put them on our website. We use them on Facebook. We use them on YouTube. We get photographs of your work, which is your art. And you are proud of your art, what you do. You bombarded me this week. Really. I probably have 100 photographs from woodturners right now for this month's newsletter. And there might be pages of them. And I'll have whose name is it. Oh, did I mention, if you send me a photograph, you have to put your name on a piece, because I can't say Bob and Mary, you know, I got to say what your last name is, or your handle. But send me the photographs. We'll use them, but you can only get them to me one way. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's our official address. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. No other way. No other way. Anything else you want to send to the club or the organization? Like Dick Storrs did this thing on this. I almost lost it. She came in the room. This ripping stitch ripper or whatever. I'll get in trouble if I forget it. That's a seam ripper. He wrote the thing up, sent it to me with a photograph and the whole article. He sent it to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. And why'd we go there? Because it's free. And I see a couple of things on chat tonight, like Billy is looking to ask a few questions. If you've got that kind of stuff, throw it on a chat. Throw it out there. And I said that, and every week I remind you, and I have to do this before you leave. If there's stuff on that chat line, you don't have to stop now, write it down. Before you leave, click on your chat button. Bottom, there's a little square with 3 little dots. Click on that and it says Save Chat. Now, do that when you're leaving. If you do it earlier, you won't save what's said after that. So, because it just saved the chat. All right, Dane, we got somebody up on bullpen tonight?
We got Gary Bobenhausen.
Gary, can you click him in?
I'm here.
There he is.
Hey, Gary, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, sir. Doing just fine. I'm over here. I don't know if you, yeah, there you got me.
All right.
Okay, this is just a piece of China berry. A friend of mine called me up and asked me if I wanted a bunch. I got 25 pieces up in the top of my garage. I started turning it, and suddenly there was all kinds of spalding inside the bowl. And I'm well noted for making the bottom of my bowls very thick. Steve will testify that it's a ½ inch is a thin bottom to me. So I really worked at this, and I've got it down to less than 3/8, more than a quarter. That's the inside of the bowl, and you couldn't see any of this spalting when you were looking at the piece of wood that was going to be turned. It was all on the inside, and that's the back.
That's beautiful coloring.
Yeah, it came out real pretty. The spalting was totally unexpected. But, found out that when you have spalting, you have to use CA to make sure that your wood doesn't just pull out with the spalting on it. At least that was my impression.
There's several products that'll do that, Gary, but CA's, it's quick in my shop, so
yeah,
that's where I'm heading. Yep. But there's commercial properties out there that'll do it. And Gary, you know, you're about the size of me. The best part of us is hidden. All right. Thank you, sir. Anybody else, Dane?
Yes, sir.
Nice beard, Gary.
Thank you.
Pole barn. Dug up pole barn and Steve Vocal.
I'm talking. I'm talking. Here I am.
There he is.
I knew he was there.
I'm here somewhere. I forgot what I was going to say. All right, so you guys aren't getting a glare, are you?
Yeah, but that's okay.
All right.
Shouldn't sell that space for advertising.
So first off, the Floetrol, buy that in a gallon. It's a lot cheaper than buying quarts like that. If you're going to use it. Ace Hardware also carries it, but
for 4 of those, you could get almost 2 gallons worth. So buy the larger amounts. But anyway, this. Where's my camera at? There it is. This week's project. So all you pen turners, that's what you do at your pen blanks. Throw it in resin.
Are those the chips off the end of the
Those
blank?
are pen blank cutoffs.
Yep. So we may come back to you when we do the pen thing about how to make pens. And
well, I do pens. Actually, a viewer sent me these. Don Farr sent me these in. I do pens, but pen videos don't generally do well for my channel, so I tend to not do them. I can do pens, but somebody sent me those. He turns a lot of ink pens, but I mean it's everything. I just dumped them in the resin, and that's the Total Boat resin. And I'm kind of curious to know what Doug's making over there in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean he's really busy tonight.
Yeah. All right, that's all I wanted to show and let you know about the flow trial. It's cheaper to buy it in a larger amount.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. I just saw something. Mark Soleil had something in a bullpen tonight.
Yeah, Mark's there as well.
Yeah, I've got something I can show.
Okay, I got you. I'm getting there. Now we get some. Okay, love the hat.
Well, there's a reason for that. Here, let me turn this lens around here. Here we go. All right, for all you ornament turners, you know, I teach wood slicing, and so I use 2x4s to teach. Maybe you can all see this. Here's an order getting ready to be shipped out tomorrow. But here's there's some little bells and there's a bunch of Christmas trees. All kinds. Each individual one I make is unique. Everyone's an individual thing. There's 100 snowmen, a little spinning top.
Boatload, Mark. You got a lot of ornaments.
Well,
yeah, you cut down some houses to get the 2x4s.
But what I'm saying is you can just make any
recycled Christmas trees,
any little design you want. And but these are being shipped out. I mean, some of you guys down there know Scott Maddox down there at the Southern Gallery. These go to his gallery for the kids to paint. And anyway, if you guys want to see hopefully Scott Maddox will come on to this someday. But he's got a great place down there in Wiggins, Mississippi, a wonderful, wonderful coffee shop. And he has a big plate glass window that all the customers in the shop can watch him turn right there while they're eating the goodies. But anyway, these little ornaments, like if you see that's a 2x4. I don't know if you can see the edges or not. Let me get it where it's darker. They're all clean. There's no tear out, right? And this is wood slicing technique, all right? Anything that you do, you can just, everything's, clean and I can't get it in focus here, clean and sharp. But anyway, but it just gives you a lot of practice. And I'll make up a bunch of these things to send to your ornament thing. And then I also, if anybody is interested at some point, right, I will be happy to do a demo on universal joinery, right? So that all of my ornaments, right, if I make a finial for an ornament, it can be interchanged with any other ornament, right? There are there's no tenons whatsoever. It's tenonless joinery. And I'll be happy to do a demo on that some night. And so now you can, feel like making finials. You can make a bunch of finials and set them aside. And then you can make a bunch of hollow forms or solid forms or like sea urchin ornaments, things like that. And you can interchange all these finials, right? And they always fit and there'll never be a gap. Great. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. What?
We're going to take you up on that offer to do a demo for us, sir. We are going to take you up on that.
Eddie?
Yes, sir.
I understand why I couldn't find any 2x4s this week now.
Yeah, I did too. I went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and there was no turning material.
Mark had them all.
No, well, I just want to say that there's a lot of, now we do a lot of the, these little ornaments and stuff for the hospitals and charity. And before COVID, I would go to the clubs at no charge if they wanted to have a wood slicing ornament workshop, right? Then I did that at no charge. And you'd be surprised how many mini lathes come out of the woodwork and people want to participate. It's a great day. We make hundreds and hundreds of ornaments and they all get donated.
Yeah, and it's a great, I use the term too much, it's a great skill builder. It really
Yeah.
is. Because whatever you can do on a bowl this big, you can do on an ornament that big.
Thank you. Anyway, that's all I have tonight. I'll just sit back and listen.
Great. It's nice having you with us. That's Mark Soleil. If you're interested in wood slicing, that's Mark's term, and I think it's a good term. He'll show you how that tool is supposed to work, especially for new turners, novice turners, young turners, old turners. All have room. Dane, I saw was in somebody else at a bullpen.
Stephen Ogle.
Stephen Ogle. I thought that was him.
There he is.
All right, you're up, Stephen.
How y'all doing?
All righty.
Hey, can y'all hear me? It's raining out here.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
We hit a rain. You got to nod us off.
Welcome to Georgia. Hey, earlier in the meeting, everybody was talking about texturing tools and the decorative elf and all that stuff. If you're wanting to get into texturing, very cheap, you can use this right here. All it is it's a sawzall blade or a reciprocating saw blade. I cut the teeth back and shape the tip like a round nose scraper, and got it really sharp. And it makes a good chattering tool or chatter tool. Let's see. Can you see this?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
It does texture
great
like
idea.
that. Excuse me?
That's a great idea.
Oh, it works great. And depending on the speed of your lathe and the distance your tool rest is away from it, it gives you different patterns. So, but that's a good cheap way to get into texturing without actually having to buy anything. I mean, everybody's got these things laying around. You know?
Yeah, that looks, and the texturing you got off of that looks better than anything I've ever gotten with my Robert Sorby chatter tool.
Well, I got the top side of it too. This is an old project I did a long time ago, just practicing. But I use that chatter tool for it. You know, if anybody, you know, just wants to get into texture, and that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, well, you know, we can come up with some stuff, and that's one of the stuffs we can come up with. It's a great way to do that, to make your own tools, and then guess what? You're doing this work with the tools you made, which gives you one more notch up there. I heard.
Hey, is Steve able to demonstrate that tool for us today or maybe next week?
Put him on the hook, Doug.
I'll be glad to. I can't do it now because I can't really get my camera to the lathe, and my lathe is busy at the minute. But I'll do it anytime, any week y'all want to do it. It wouldn't take but a minute.
All right. Well, let's set it up for the next couple of weeks, and we'll get it in there. And
Sure.
Thank you, Doug. But that holds true for just about all you folks. Well, let me check. It holds true for everyone.
Hey, Frank.
Of you folks. Frank Bowers is in with us tonight. Hi, buddy. How you making out?
Doing fine. Trying to stay away from Mike Soleil's place. I'm only about 5 miles from his shop.
Oh, that's too bad. Good. Well, it's nice when you visit the other shops. Ronnie and I will do that sometimes, sneak out and go see what somebody else is turning because you get to see the tools they made.
Yeah.
So, welcome, sir. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you. Mark's been after me.
All right. Okay, remind you, Mark said something a few minutes ago. He's going to turn some ornaments and send them to us. No. Mark, turn those ornaments and give them away. I don't have a way to distribute them right now.
Okay, all right.
It's real restrictive. But, folks, if you're turning in your neck of the woods, you don't know where to take them, find a children's hospital.
Thank
Find
you.
a center for distressed women where they have to go and take their kids to get away from the old man or whatever. There are people in your neighborhood that need a little glint for Christmas. That's where they go. The ones where they need a little glint, a little bit of your artwork, a little bit of something that came out of your heart and will go into their heart. It's real important.
And specifically, children's hospitals would be wonderful.
Yeah, my former club I was in, we would do hundreds of them each year and take them to the children's hospital.
Yeah.
It was a big thing 20 years ago. Huge. Don't know why we got away from it, but it was beautiful.
The great part about it, you give somebody something like that, and every Christmas when they pull that ornament out, they're going to think of you.
Yep.
But even
The
better
other-
than that, they're going to think, look what somebody gave to me. I have to go buy that Wally World. I didn't have to go, order it through Amazon. I don't have any problem with either one of them, but your homemade gift is worth a whole lot more than anything that they could ever have.
I tell you,
Find
kids really
yourself-
like those.
Find yourself a first grade teacher or kindergarten teacher. She'll love you to death. You give a basket full of those things for the kids to paint.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. Give them markers and paint. They love doing that stuff.
Oh,
Make it
yeah.
unique.
Yeah, I have a grand niece that's 3 years old. I wouldn't want to put her in the same room with a paintbrush. I mean, she is going to go to town. But she's cute. It's going to come out nice. It's going to come out perfect, really. Just ask her. I was talking about collecting the photographs. We still like to have them. The demos, we've got some folks that said they want to do demos for us. And really, I'm looking for more demos from right there, from you folks. And we've got plans. COVID's going to go away. We're all going to wear our masks. We're all going to start behaving ourselves when we kick its butt. And we're all going to be back to acting semi-normal. And we're going to get together for meetings and gatherings to show more things. But until then, you got a camera. You have a camera. You have a smartphone right there. That's the one you have. All you have to do is videotape it on that smartphone. Yeah, record, tune it, and then you go to photos and you email it to us. We'll have it. We'll put it into the program. It's just that simple. Who else you got, Dane?
We got Steve Thomason.
Steve?
Hey, I've got it's almost Christmas time, so I'm starting to make my snowmen pepper mills.
Now, you would have had me on Pepper Hill thing.
This one's actually a salt mill.
Okay.
Pepper mills are usually darker color wood, but this one's a salt mill.
So the hat turns.
Yeah, you turn the hat, and
Okay.
the smoke comes out the bottom.
What kind of finish or paint is that?
Well, actually it's a white acrylic that I thinned down with a lot of water because I really wanted that grain to actually come through so that you can see it. Same way with the hat. It's a black acrylic, but I've got it thinned down enough that you can still see some of the grain coming through.
Did you use your bed extension?
Did I what extension? No, not a bed extension. This will fit on a mini lathe. This is only 12 inches tall.
Oh, just teasing you.
Okay.
I was going to say, how big is that?
You had to have for it.
What?
I was just wondering how big a tree you had to have for that.
Oh, well, it wasn't very big.
Shop scraps.
Look at the other ones behind them.
Yeah, I got 4 of them. I've been into pepper mills here lately, so this is. I've turned a whole mess of these. This is a ash that's been turned, burned, dyed, and embellished.
It's pretty.
Very
gorgeous.
Yep.
Do you use a wire brush to lift out the softwood?
I use a soft wire brush, and then this one's similar. It's been turned and burned, and then I took a negative rake scraper, scraped it back, so I still got all the black in the veins, but then I put a red dye on it just to see what it would come out like. And I think it came out real pretty. I'm real. Everybody that sees it loves it. So
yeah, it is.
Nice.
And one important thing is put a good finish on it because they're going to get handled.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's what I got.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Good to see you back here this evening. And we still have more gallery items if you like to. And if you got a problem or situation or something you want to chat about, this is a place to do it. Remember, it is your club. So, Dane, we got somebody else in bullpen?
Hey, guys, real quick. I got a note from Martin Clarkson. His computer died, and he wanted to say goodbye to everybody. Good night to everybody.
Okay, we'll miss Martin.
Yep.
Daddy,
Yes, sir.
we have a young Turner with us. It's part of the Slattery family. Why don't you click on Mr. Slattery, and his son is standing in the background, and he's dying to get on our front page.
All right, Mr. Slattery, can you speak up, sir? Press the mute button and talk. All right, we can get you right on. There's over 100 people in the program.
Come on, get back over here. He's got a young Turner that's coming up.
Oh, all right. Now we got him. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, how's it going, Eddie?
All right.
Come on, get over.
There he is.
He comes over. He wants to play with all these filters, and now I got this filter stuck on my on my shirt.
I got it stuck. I got
Hold
it
on.
stuck. I got it stuck. Let me see it.
Go ahead.
I know how to get it off. I know how to get it off.
He wants to learn it. My one daughter wants to learn too.
Well, good. Get him in the shop and get him creative.
Yeah.
All that better than those thumb devices they play with. So.
Oh, he's banned off his thumb devices for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good seeing you, Chuck.
Yep, nice seeing you.
I want to see his work real soon.
He tried a little carving. I just got to watch him. You know what I mean? Carving's a little. The knives are sharp. So.
Yeah, they are.
My lathe setup. My lathe is sitting kind of high. I'm pretty tall, so it's sitting a little too high for him. I'd have to make him a stool or something to stand on, some kind of box.
Great. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Just get a
And-
small pallet and put underneath in front of it.
Whoa, wait a minute. He's in. He's in. I knew they said we couldn't keep him away, but
Where's your snorkel at? Fuck that, it didn't get this far.
it went to you.
Glad to see you, Trey.
It went to the east of you?
Yeah, it went way east of us. It got our friends over in Mobile area.
Oh, it did.
I heard that was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad over there. They got a lot of rain and a lot of wind for.
I heard Pensacola was real bad too.
So.
Okay, I got fussed at for doing the weather report earlier. Trey, next week we're going to go back to the Christmas ornament demonstrations.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to prepare for it with the storm, and I wasn't sure what the storm was going to do, so I was better off canceling ahead of time.
Good. Well, all right. Well, we understand and we miss you. We'll see you again next week. That's Trey, and he is out of the lower part of Mississippi. Like, there's water right across the street. I see Donald Masterson's in from Australia. Donald, you looking to share tonight?
Nothing to share tonight.
I saw you pop up there all of a sudden. I thought you clicked up to do some bragging or stuff.
Completely bragging.
Well, for those not that are new members, Donald is out of Australia. And that's not a Las Vegas suburb. That's really Australia. So, but welcome, Donald. Glad to see you. We've had a couple other folks pop in tonight that are normal visitors. I'm going to say this: everybody's a member, really is. And we still have, or I still have, because there is no we when it comes to making a purchase for the organization. I arranged to have some worldwide wood turners decals made. They go on your lathe, on your car window, on your neighbor's car window. And we sell them here. I sell them. And it is pretty much a no gain for us to do this. We were asked to do it, so we put them out there. If you like one, you have to mail me the money, not the organization. You have to mail me, Eddie Castellan, the payment. You can send me a check. You can send me cash. No promises. But if you like decals, one decal is $2. Two decals is $3. Four decals, all right, you got the thing. I have to charge you $1 for the decal and $1 to put them in an envelope and mail them to you. No matter how many you buy, I'm going to charge you $1 to mail them to you. Dane tried me on that, and how many you got? 30, 40?
I don't know.
But we still have those available, and we've been asked to look at a few other things. We'll look at them at your club. We can always do that. What's up? We got anybody else in the bullpen, sir?
We got Jeffrey Schnell. He's up next. I'm going to spotlight him now. Jeff, you're
Line him
up.
up, Jeff. Hey, bud.
Yeah. Hey, how you going? Hey, I like going garage sales and stuff, and anything wood carved or turned, I pick up. So this is not made by me. This is an old nut thing that I found, and I just amazed. It's pretty old. It looks like that the bark is staying on it, you know, and it's got the typical felt at the bottom. So I'm sure it's got screw holes or whatever on it. But I just thought that was pretty neat. I paid a whole $1 for it. You know, trying to save
My
it from getting
grandmother
thrown
used to
out.
have one just like that sitting on the table with the crackers and the shell pickers sticking in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize what it was. I just saw that it had old bark. Then I got this old vase. It's pretty hard right here because I got the stupid background. Got a big inclusion in it. I think I paid $5 for it. This is from the 70s. Let me turn this stupid background off. Sorry about that. It keeps trying to get rid of stuff. There we go. That's much better. I'll bring it back further so you can see it. But again, you know, just not anything spectacular. It's pretty old. You know, it's got the screw holes, the typical mounting that they used to do back in the 70s. But again, I think this was like a family gift to somebody, and they had a garage. They sold it for $5. I thought, what a shame. But I just thought it was kind of cool looking, you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
I like holes in the bottom.
Yep.
The holes in the bottom are not an old thing. I saw something yesterday on Facebook and or YouTube, and the guy held it up. He had put a piece of tape on the inside to cover the holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find all kinds of carvings, you know, all kinds of things like cedar. It's got you can see the different layers of wood. They make birds out of them and stuff, and it's really cool looking. I got a big collection of ducks and, you know, all kinds of animals, and then a lot of wood turnings, of course. So yeah, that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you joining us this evening. What else you have there,
Well,
Dane?
I think I'm going to be up next.
All right, why not? Go ahead.
All righty. Got me spotlighted?
Gotcha.
There we go. So, got a 9.5-inch platter. It's a crotch piece. I've got texture done, a textured ring on the front, and then a little texturing done on the back for the band, and then a herringbone texture for the base. It's got black mesquite, finished in Parfit's 3408, and then it's dyed on the inside here with a blue and green.
Well, I got to say, what I'm seeing, I know tear marks or pullouts, and that's hard to do sometimes at mesquite.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, there's a lot of character. You see where a limb was coming through here, it was on the inside, and the same thing over on this side. The camera's not picking it up, but real good
Dane,
figure on it. But yeah, latest piece I've finished.
Dane, what did you use to get the texture on the bottom?
My sorbet texture.
Okay. The big one or the little one?
Yes. Yeah, the big one.
Big one. Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
so rotated, just shy of, I guess it'd be at 11:30 and 12:30 to make the herringbone of opposite ends or opposite directions, make the herringbone. So yeah, turned out really good.
Good to play with. Good to play with. Trey's got something he wanted to show us tonight. Trey, we got you up, bud.
Yeah. What I wanted to do after he said something about garage sales, something I thought I'd show. This is a old Craftsman's drill press.
I had one like that.
Well, you know what? It so happens that the shaft is 1 inch and it fits into your banjo, where your banjo goes. So you can mount it on your lathe. So you can pick one of these up for 10 or 20 bucks instead of paying $100 for a mount your drill when you want to drill holes and index it.
Makes a good pin press for pin turners
Great idea.
too.
Yeah, and they're cheap, and they're because everybody's trying to get rid of them. But they're fabulous for just mounting your drill on there and mount it on top of your, just stick it into the banjo on your lathe. It's a 1 inch shaft already, so it's ready to go.
I got one from a neighbor that was holding open his garage door with it and had no idea what it was. That was well, almost 50 years ago, but we still had it. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate that. Anybody else up in gallery tonight? Go ahead and say a little something. Dane will get you if you throw it into the chat.
Yeah, there's nobody up at the moment. Doug mentioned something about showing off a pencil blank if we wanted to see it.
I'm okay with that.
So, Doug, if you're listening.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. As soon as you get me there. Oh, y'all just froze up on me. There you go. I see me. You all see me now?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm fixing to make it a snowman next week for our Christmas challenge. That's the plan anyway. Tonight, while we're talking, I was putting together the blank, and I thought, well, if y'all wanted to see it, the colored pencil stuff, you guys, it's really, really simple to do. So what I'm going to use is the aluminum foil stuff that you use. You throw on the barbecue, throw some hot dogs or, I don't know, whatever bean in there. So they're really cheap. So I grabbed two. The reason I grabbed two is because the first one was just to see how many pencils it was going to take. I know we got some of you smart Air Force and Navy people in here. So here's what you need to do for me. The number 12 times 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whatever 9 times 12 is, that's how many pencils we're fixing to use.
We get somebody from the Army to work it out for us.
Yeah, I'll need my crayons if I'm going to do that, man. But so that's how many pencils is in there. So all I'm going to do is just like any other resin mix. You got your part A, your part B. I've already measured it out. I'm using Alumilite, so I had to do it by weight, not volume. But it's just like anything else. We're just going to pour it in there, and then we're going to mix that bad boy all up. And then streaks out of there right quick.
Why do you choose Alumilite?
Because it was on sale at one of the wood turning stores. It's actually my first. This is not my first time using Alumilite, but this 2-part series of Alumilite that I have, it's the first time that I bought Alumilite. It is obviously, if you've looked, more pricey than the other brands out there. but I will tell you, I've been really pleased with it. Learning from other turners, I'm learning the difference between using the resin and the epoxy resins. I have another something or other that I'm fixing up, and I just realized, learning from other people, that I used the wrong resin, but I was too far into it to quit. It was actually maybe the guy that we were talking to last week at our show here, and then somebody at my Prescott Turners Club was mentioning about with the epoxy resin is better to use on wood that's likely to move on you because it won't come loose as much as just the regular resin. But that's for another situation. For these pencils, this stuff works just fine.
And we working. I have to mention it's the top of the hour. It's 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and we have another half an hour or so to go, or so. And if you've got something to attribute to the organization, we'd love to hear from you. Now you mix it all up. What's the working time?
This is about 7 to 12 minutes based on my shop. I get right at about 8 minutes with it. So here we go. I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bottom so I get some stickiness on the bottom. Get that around. And then I'm going to drop me a layer of pencils in there. Make sure you count those out, get an exact number. Yeah. And then get me some resin on that layer.
Are you going to put this in a pressure pot, Doug?
This I am going to. Do I have to? No, but it does. It makes it better.
Okay.
It's more better than if you don't.
That's a little like fast, isn't it? It has to be pressurized.
Yeah, I'm using aluminum flow.
Well, but it still has to be pressurized or it'll turn into foam.
That's a true story, and I'll show you on another piece here that I'm not pressurizing, and you can see the foaminess that's on it.
Yeah, you'll get bubbles. Now, did you pick the colors, or are you just sticking pencils in there?
It's the box is 12 pencils, so I'm just throwing them in there wherever they land.
Got it.
And only because it's a demo, I did not mix up enough resin. But now you
I hate it when that happens.
But I'm gonna show you guys right quick, and then I'm gonna let you go so I can make up some more resin and finish that. Here's what we're talking about. If you don't pressurize it with aluminite, it'll foam up on you. So this is a log I'm fixing to do, and this is why I should have been using epoxy resin. But this thing was full of cracks, and I'm just putting some different colors all over it, filling it all in, and then the hope and prayer is that I'm going to turn that into a big winged vase. But look at that blue right there. You can see where that foamed up right there. That's not a run as much as it is just a big foamy bubble. And it's hard now, but yeah, pressure pot, if you got one, really reduces the bubbles, shrinks them down like Kim was saying. Doesn't get rid of them, just shrinks them to where you can't see them, and it'll make your finished product prettier. If you don't have one, don't wait to start playing around with resin until you get one. That's just another tool you're going to add to your arsenal. But I got to go because now I got to mix up some more resin right quick.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
Eddie, let's jump over to John Brown. He's waiting in the wing.
John, talk.
Yeah, here I am.
And
There you are.
Can you hear me there?
Yeah, we got you up.
Yeah, okay. I've got a couple of Christmas ornaments here that I'll show you. And I do that on there with a router that runs over the top of it. And I make a lot of those for a charitable institution. And they raffle those off at Christmas time or have a festival of trees. And it goes to help finance their, it's like Habitat for Humanity. And they fix houses and get places and repair old houses for underprivileged people. and people that doesn't have much money, you know, so that they can have heat in the wintertime and all of that. So that's what they use them for. I'll maybe make 50 to 100 of those a year, or some ornaments similar to that for that organization.
Thank you, John. That's what this is all about. You can share something from your heart to their heart.
Yeah, I've been doing these with a router. You can do those V grooves in there and make inlays and put in them. And I've made a lot of those like that with inlays of different colored wood. The wood I'm making those out of now is like another man said there. That's just pieces of 2x4.
How are you holding the router to route those?
I made a jig. It's a trim router, a small hand router, you know, and I made a jig that goes over top of on the lathe. I can also run it straight across, and then one jig and then another jig. It goes on the bed of the lathe, and the router runs over top of the ornament or whatever you put in there that you want to. I can put a picture of that on.
Send it to us. We'll use it in our newsletter and our website.
Yeah, I can.
So it sounds like a
picture
fluting jig. Is that a fluting jig?
No, it isn't. I don't know. I guess you could call it a fluting jig, but it's one I made.
Okay.
I've made several of them, and I had one. I did a lot of demonstrations at different clubs, and I would have to. There were different size lathes, and I had one that was made up from unistrut, and that one I could take extra pieces of unistrut and make it taller if I was on a larger diameter lathe, or smaller for on a smaller lathe, and it would fit many lathes clear up to, well, one way 24-inch ones. And then when I moved from my home to a retirement center that I'm in now, why they happen to have a wood shop here, and it had a jet mini lathe in there, and that's what I have to work on now. And I made a much lighter one from some plywood and everything, and 3/4-inch plywood, and it's very light and easy to use. The one made from unistrut was kind of heavy.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah, but it worked well because I could.
I'd love to see pictures of that. Sounds like a great jig.
Yeah, I have pictures of it with unistrut too. I could send that. It's not hard to make out of it. The hardest thing to make is to hold the router, because I make well, the jig that holds the router is made from about 1.5 inch, 1.75-inch plywood that I have no idea what some company used it for, but someone in our wood turning group in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that's close to where I live, could get this pieces of plywood that was very thick and very strong, you know. So I would make a hole in it for the router to go through, and then put a bolt in the end of it to make it like a clamp. And that's how I made all the attachments for the router. The rest of it's just a base for it
Well, you got pictures, John. We'd love to see them. We'll use them, put them up on here and show folks, because that's what we do. We share the information you have.
Yeah. Okay. In a few days, I'll get the pictures gathered together and send them in an email to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Some beautiful work. And folks, we're looking to get more of what you do on your ornaments and share them with us. And we're going to share them with everybody. So that's what it's really all about. And this is part of our Christmas Ornament Challenge program, where we want to see photographs of your work. But remember the rule, you have to give them away. I missed the time mark a few minutes ago. It's about 10 after 8. We got a little while to go yet. And if we got some other folks up for gallery, that's fine. But we seem to tipped over a bucket today. I'm looking at chat, and there's probably 10, 12 people on the chat right now that is talking about their experiences with Illuminate and this product and that product and that product, and what it does with epoxy and water. And it's, guess what? It's all there. These are guys and gals sharing all that information with you that you're not going to find on the back of a bottle. That's just not going to happen. They make that stuff for building boats, my opinion. And oh yeah, by the way, John, I had a source for 1.5-inch plywood. It came from a Georgia Pacific plant in Mississippi that was making it for transoms on aluminum boats. They would make this material. It was it was 1.5 inches. It was a special dimension that would fit into 1.5 inch crunch or seam on the back of a boat to give some stability to the back of a aluminum boat. And then when I was getting started in cabinet making 60 years ago or so, I was at Delgado Trade and Technical, and that's right where they were building the landing craft, the Higgins landing craft. In fact, those buildings were still there in the back of the property, and there was tons of 1.25-inch plywood, gorgeous cabinet grade plywood. I have it in some projects, and I turned it, and I manufactured and gave away at that time. So it's out there. It's out there. It might be hard to find, but it's out there.
Well, we thought that someone that was making a lot of these countertops and everything for in places like Sheetz and some of these other, gasoline stations and all, was these delis was using it. But it was very hard on turning tools. So to take the edge off must have been the glue, and it would take the edge off of cutting tools very quickly.
Yeah, and they tend to do that. There used to be a guy in Florida that sold scraps of pieces that he used to make tables on barbecue pits. And beautiful colors, but same thing. It was, pardon me, hell on tools. It really was. Sir.
I got to take my hat off to John. We will listen to him talk and what he's doing and everything. You got to remember, John is doing this in a retirement home, and he's doing this. He found a shop. He's using a lathe. I bet you everybody in that retirement home is your best friend because you always making things for them.
Yeah, that's about right.
My hat's off to you that you could be sitting in the corner in a rocking chair. Instead, you out in the shop making things.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's about what it is.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, and that's what it's all about, folks. Dane, do we have anybody else up with show and tell tonight, or a question or a comment?
We've hit the dry spot on that now.
All right, I was talking a minute ago about the bucket we kicked over, the epoxies and the casting materials and the total boat and Alumilite and all that. All that information flows through here really easily because we're trying to explain it, and there's a ton of it in the chat. Now, right down here, where is that? Right down here is my chat button. And if I push that button, I can save the chat. I'll do it just before we leave tonight. And then we pass that on to our webmaster, and he'll add it to our website. So if you miss it, there's a chance we'll have it. He records it, and he'll save it, put it up there. Same thing with the program that's on tonight. It's just that if you're watching a rerun, remember, it's a rerun. I'd like, and this is, boy, people in this organization should learn right now, if I have the opportunity to put a spot on you, I'm going to put a spot on you. This pouring paint project, I think we need to see a demo. I really, really do. So I'm going to spot, there's probably 5 people commenting on it tonight. Throw it all out there. Y'all know each other. You're in the same club. So if you can do something on that, would like to have it, we'd use it anytime we can. And I just want it to be, how do I do this? I don't want it to drag on. I'm dragging on right now. I don't want it to drag on. I watched a video the other day, a demonstration, and this guy was showing us how to put stuff into overlay. All right, if I needed to see how to put something in an overlay or insert some fiber or some turquoise or anything else or metal shavings, I only have to see you do 1 inch of it. See the technique. I don't need to see the whole thing. Show me your technique. Then I have an idea where to go and how to go there. Now, what I do when I get there is my own business. But if you can, let's bottle up some of these demonstrations. Make them short. Get them on here so everybody can appreciate them. There's my soapbox. That's it. Jake,
Hey, Eddie,
is that something?
Eddie,
Yes,
Eddie,
sir, Dan.
Eddie, this is Matt Harbor. I'll volunteer. If anybody wants to join me for the paint pours, I'd be happy to have them.
Wow. Okay. See that, folks? This thing works. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. See, we get these folks stepping up, and you kind of amaze me, folks, the way you do this. Dane, I know somebody else is up in a bullpen right now. Do you have them?
Yep. So gallery item, we have Jake, and then there's a little bit of interest to see what's on Steve's lathe and what's on my lathe at the moment. So let's go to Jake first.
All right, go ahead. Click them up.
I'm here.
Yeah, we got you now.
Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to share some stuff with you on my screen if I can pull it up. Can you see that?
Now I do.
I've been playing with beading using a Rich and Rafford technique of using a spindle gouge to create beads. And this practice piece ended up turning into a box, and you can see the beads on the side. Trying to figure out how to go to the next one.
You did beads on a concave surface, which is sometimes, which is nice.
Trying to figure out how to go to the next picture. There it is.
No, you see, you stay on it. There you go.
There's the box with the lid on it. And that's a piece of ash. But it's simply, I was practicing this spindle technique that Richard Raffin does on the lathe, and created these beads. And then I said, well, that needs to be a box. So the box happened as an afterthought to the practice. And just to continue, I turned a couple walnut bowls. They're about 6 inches. They're about 6 inches by 2.5 inches deep. I changed the outside shape. And these beads were all laid out with a spindle gouge with no measuring, no layout, no special tool. And it probably took about a minute per bowl to turn all those beads.
That's just unfair. Come on.
And of course, this is the other first side of it. That it doesn't take a lot of practice. And I do have a little 14-second video clip I did. I don't have it on this computer, but it's very simple to do with the spindle gouge. And anyhow, just thought I'd share that with everybody.
Put it up on YouTube.
Say it again.
Put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, well, yeah, or bring it next week and we'll put it in a program.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, so we can all see it.
I can certainly do that. But anyhow, I'm kind of new. This is only the second week I've joined you guys, and so it seemed like a little slow tonight. So I thought I'd share a couple of my items from this last month.
Well, we had over 100 people at one time, but some want to sit and listen, and the others want to participate. We welcome it all. Dane wants us to release his.
Let's jump to Chuck. Chuck Slattery, you're up next.
Do you hear us or no?
Now we got you.
You said you had something.
All right, so you guys got this dude wanting to show. He wants to show something. So, this is a ring, and it's funny because I think it was today, Eddie, wasn't it, or yesterday? You put out a video about, and so this is another piece of that that handrail that I had, the little stub pieces of handrail, and I just wanted to try my hand at turning a ring. And you get these inserts anywhere; they're titanium, they're like $10, and I turned it down. These things are like super soft. I didn't realize when I first turned it, like the first one, I literally just went like that and it crushed. And so I had to be real delicate with the third one that I made before I was able to get it on here. And but I think I didn't turn it down enough, and so it's a little big when you put it on your finger. But he wanted it, so we gave it to him, and then he's been wanting. He's like, I want to showcase something. So I said, all right. And he comes up with his ring, and I said it's funny because Eddie just had a video about jewelry. And
bling. We call it bling.
What's that, buddy?
We call it bling.
Oh yeah, bling. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It turned out pretty good. I'll probably try some more. I tried to make a mandrel out of wood, and that didn't turn out too good. So I'm gonna have to try that again.
I'm gonna work on one and show it. I don't remember the name of the other plastic product, and my source for that apparently dried up.
Delrin.
Delrin?
It's Delrin. The stuff you were describing is Delrin.
Okay.
It's hard, very slick white plastic, similar to Teflon but harder.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and you can machine it like steel.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this stuff holds threads and everything.
Yeah, that's the
it's
product.
a very good industrial material. We used it at the factory a lot.
Got any scraps?
No, I'm retired now.
You gotta
but yeah, all factories have it in their machine shop.
Yeah, I'm like John Brown. I live in a retirement home too. Just
McMaster Car sells the stuff.
Okay.
I don't have anything to do with them. I just do business with them.
McMaster Car.
McMaster Car.
Okay. Thank you. It's 23 after the hour. We still chatting about things, showing gallery. We're lining up some folks for some demonstrations in the future. Now, Chuck, you mentioned the bling that we did, and I'm going to go right back to it again. Those are skill builders. Bracelets, rings, earrings. Somebody today said, I got to check out Rebecca DeGroot's SD service. I believe it's SD. That's what it looks like I wrote down. But to make earrings. Now, a long time ago, I did earrings for my daughters, my granddaughters, my wife, grandnieces, and all those people. Everybody got earrings. And they were easy little projects. But guess what? You can only turn it if you can hold it. So I don't care how small it is, how big it is. You can only turn it if you can hold it. So I'm looking for demonstrators or folks that want to share on how to do this and how to hold it. But I saw some the other day online where it was a two-part piece put together with brown paper between them and some white glue, and they turned this shape and then split them apart to take the weight away and still have the accent. I'd show you, but I look terrible in earrings. So, but it's something you can play with. What we want to do with demonstrations is show folks how to hold things. That's real critical. How you hold it and how you turn it. We saw a couple of people tonight with wood still in the chuck. Kim talked about how she protected her chuck in order to do the paint pour, and it came down over it. You see, we sometimes forget saran wrap can often be our best friend. Brown wax paper can often be our best friend. So if you've got something that we can incorporate into our turning that we can move on to other things, I'd like you to share them with us. It's just about bottom of the hour. Matt Harbor says Rebecca DeGroot's SD site is on our chat list right now. So if you're interested in what I just told you about Rebecca DeGroot, that's where you go find it at. It's on the chat list. I did that little thing yesterday for YouTube, and I was going through some stuff. I started this a couple of weeks ago. I was looking for an idea on Christmas ornaments, and I went to Pinterest, Pinterest. Now, consider this. Once you go there, you're going to get an email from them every day, 4 or 5 times a day of new boards and all that. Now you can unsubscribe. It takes about a week to unsubscribe, but always keep them in your backup plan, because if you're wondering, how can I turn this? How can I make that? From ink pens, to bowls, to bracelets, to rings, to bottle stoppers, it is all there. Just type in what you're looking for, and I mean, it is just there. And they don't tell you how to meld it, but you're a wood turner. You don't need to be told how. Just get the juices flowing a little bit. And that's what we look for here. Juices flowing a little bit. Some ideas. If you turn the Christmas ornaments, want to see them. When we do get into the bottle stoppers, want to see them. The ink pens are coming up, I want to see them. We're going to do the bling. We'll get to do the bling. And it looks like we're going to do a little paint pouring. We've done a little bit on casting. I'm thinking that we're going to have one of you turners out there show us a little bit about moto engraving. Would that be a way to describe it? Moto engraving with if you use a Dremel and an SK or one of the other air-powered or electric powered. I've got one out there that turns 60,000 RPMs and it's electric powered. It's great. I loaned it to a friend rebuilding his Model T. Did all kinds of stuff on it, detailing and all. So we're going to have somebody show us how to do that. And it's not a fast demo. So there'll be, as somebody described the other day, kind of a baker demonstration where, look, I got this, and I can do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do this. And we'll step through them so you have an idea of what you have to go through to get to something like that. I saw Roper doing something the other day, sitting on the porch outside of the shop, carving on something with a power engraver. It's a great way to decorate your work and get a little bit of your art into it. Steve, were you trying to pop in on us just now? We saw you up on the screen. Steve Thompson?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Because the way we've had in view, if you touch the mute button or whatever, or the screen, then we see you. All right, with that, I'm going to ask you one more time. Is there anything else we got to talk about tonight? Let's get to it. Otherwise, we're going to shut her down and get it in the shop and make some shavings.
Hey, Ed.
Go ahead, Billy.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I mentioned in the chat a little earlier about what I did this week. If you know anybody that has Powermatic lathe that's had inverter issues, or someone has a Powermatic and the inverter goes out, there is a cheaper option out there than getting it from Powermatic. They wanted $790 for a new inverter, and they're back ordered until at least November. Yeah, and they're mid-November, at least mid-November before I could get one. A fellow Texan named Bob Fleming turned me on to a 3-horsepower inverter from Westinghouse. All the details are in my latest YouTube video. I show you how to program it. I've got the parameters are listed in the description, and I show you how to hook it up. And so you're going to have to make some modifications if you've got a 3520B. Mainly, they've got the potentiometer, the on-off switch, and the forward-reverse switch wired in series, and they share a ground. So you have to basically separate the potentiometer for the RPMs and hook that up separate. But that's the only tricky part. But anyway, I go into detail about how to do that and make that change. And that new inverter, by the way, was $250 shipped. So,
that's cheap.
Save $500. And I also, while I had to lay the part, I've my new Powermatic 2014 came with a remote box that the One Ways have had that arm for years. Really cool device. I really love the remote box. So when I had the my 3520B apart, I went ahead and took the panel out of it and hooked it to a box. So now I've same panel, just on a separate wire connected box, and I can put it anywhere. I show you how to do that. And so if all the Powermatic people that let them know if they've got issues or want to do it. There's been a lot of write-ups on how to do the I've seen several articles on how to do the remote control box thing, but nobody's done a video on it. So I did.
Great.
And I've not seen too much and written up about changing the inverter to another brand. I didn't know you could do that. But Todd Raines, you know Todd Raines, Eddie. Todd turned me on to Glenn and Bob, and Bob really helped me out. And after a couple hours of troubleshooting, we figured it out.
Good.
Is that a 3-phase motor?
It is a 3-phase motor.
Automation Direct is another place you can get really inexpensive stuff for. They got good stuff. I've done business with them also.
I think Automation Direct may be where I got it. I don't remember.
Okay.
But anyhow, there's the link to where I got the inverter is also in the description.
Place to buy inverters.
Could you put a link to that YouTube video in the chat?
Yeah, there is one. Doug has put up 2 links already. One earlier in the chat and one just now.
And remind folks, save the chat. You got it. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. I saw one today a minute ago at Dane and Stephen are still on the list to share. I don't know what they have to share tonight.
There's interest in what we have on our lathes.
I'm sorry, say?
I said there's interest in what we have on our lathes.
Well, all right, then let's quench that interest and see.
So I'll go first. Got the bottle of water. And try to use this to spray on plastic. No, seriously. So I'm in the process of pouring some. I found a tree that needed to be taken down at a buddy's house on Sunday, and so I'm pouring up what I think is some type of ash, not Arizona ash, but it's not the grain of ash. But I've got it wrapped up in packing cellophane right now because of the meeting. But yeah, I just got my one-way easy pour on here. And when I'm pouring, I spray water to keep everything nice and cool on the inside. Makes things, seems to make it cut better.
Is that a black Powermatic? Is that a black Powermatic lathe?
Yeah, that's black Powermatic.
Yeah, 90th anniversary.
It's the 11th anniversary, or 90th anniversary edition, sorry. 11th, I bought it in 2011.
Okay, that's nice.
So that's what I've got going on. I'm in the process of coring. I've got a bunch of big wood to get cores, baby bowl blanks made out of.
Okay.
That's what I've got going on this week.
All right. Thank you, Dane. Appreciate it. Now, Stephen, I hear you have something up on a lathe you want to show us tonight? Unless he ducked out, but I also have one here. Jason Collett's got an issue, and we may be able to help. All right, Stephen, they said you have something to share.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of rain here, but yeah, this is the 18-inch piece of cedar, end grain turn. I got a little late today, but you can see it's in pretty rough shape right now.
Can't hear you now.
We're losing your audio.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually doing this on YouTube, but since you guys asked, I just thought I'd show it. But
You're dropping out. That rain's really got you over there, Stephen.
because it's such a brittle wood. Yeah. Yeah. Just watch my video. You'll see it. It'll be up
Great.
next week.
All right, we'll look you up, sir. We will. Jason Collett, are you with us? I see that you had a problem. Jason, press the space bar.
Yeah, I'm here.
I thought that was you.
Just trying to figure stuff out.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
I started a little bowl last week, and I left it on my lathe overnight. And, you know, it's not too bad, but I ended up with an issue. I don't know if you can
Oh, we
see
got
that, but
That is not an issue.
That calls for
That's a
resin.
character feature.
It ain't
now I
gonna
got to
hold
figure
soup.
out, am I going to be able to finish it?
Yes.
Send it to Kim.
But
Just need to define it.
so
Yeah, resin, or what you could do is re-wet it, wrap it like Dane had on his, put a little bit of wood glue, watered down wood glue in there with it. Sometimes you can get those to close back up.
Yep.
how
yeah,
fresh.
it kind of frustrated me.
Or a piece of
Another cool
resin would be
feature.
gorgeous.
Hey, another
What
cool
it-
feature I've seen with cracks like that, you drill some holes down either side and you run some leather through it, and it looks like it was designed that way. It's pretty cool.
Just stitch it back together.
Yep, you just stitch it back together.
It's a
That might be.
opportunity for
And you don't have to use, actually, you don't have to buy expensive gallons of resin to do stuff like that either. I use 5, 15, or 30-minute epoxy, mix up a bunch of it, and to color it, if you've got any powder coat powder, they all kinds of powder coat powders, and powder coat powder is cheap. It mixes with the epoxy real well, and I use it to fill all kinds of voids. So, and the color palette is unlimited.
Yeah, put a piece of tape on the inside so it doesn't run through.
Right.
Then you have a
Dollar store makeup works great for coloring the resin. Ask Kim. That's what Kim did. Dollar store makeup.
Hey, that's what I started out with and sometimes still use because there's some really awesome colors.
I've also used sidewalk chalk.
Yeah, they still give that to the Army guys. You know.
Well, that's right up my lane.
Hey, Jason, do you know why that happened?
I'm pretty sure the wood was still wet, too.
Yes.
So
I
ended up with a whole log of this stuff, so I might as well make something out of it.
Yes, and wet wood is fantastic for practicing turning. You get, especially the species, because if you can turn it wet and you see how it moves and if it cracks versus moving and see how thin or thick you can go with it, that's kind of how I learned. I learned on oak. So it's a rough learn, but if you can turn a wood, like if you get a bunch of logs and you never turned that wood before, do some wet and do them in different styles, fashions, whatever, to see how that wood responds. Because down here in Florida, we're so humid that, you know, sometimes we can get away with it, sometimes we can't, sometimes everything just grows mold if you wrap it. So it's great to be able to turn it wet instead of just always working on dry, because you can do some amazing things with it while it's still wet. Plus, it's great to practice for those new people for tooling because it's a little more forgiving when it's green wood. So I always encourage people, turn green wood. Don't be afraid of it. Worst thing that happens is it splits and then bam, you got, like Doug said, put some shoelaces on it, you know?
A design.
Yeah, we have the exact opposite problem is we're extremely dry. So I'm in Colorado.
Fast,
so
Yeah, so wetting it down with the water. A lot of times what I would do too is I would, if I couldn't get to the inside, I would coat the outside really good with mineral oil. Now, that depends on what you're going to use for a finish, is whether you can do the mineral oil, but sometimes I could coat it all down with mineral oil on the outside really good and not have to wet it, not have to wrap it, because we get mold so fast here. And that has also helped during turning as well, keeping it from moving on you while you're trying to get the rim established and get it hollowed out. So that's worth a try, mineral oil.
You know,
I've had some pretty good luck too turning the black walnut really wet because I got a bunch of it, and I'll turn my piece almost to its finished thickness, and then I do a CA coat on the outside only, forcing the moisture to go out through the inside. And then if I get some cracks on the inside, I don't care as much because you can't see them. And then go back, turn it again, turn off that glue, do a final sanding. And I've probably got 4 or 5 pieces, and now none of them handy to show you. that I did that way, and they did not crack on me. Did I get lucky 5 times? Maybe, or maybe it works. I'm not sure.
Not work.
I've not had walnut crack on me. Apple cracks really, really. I mean, I could pretty much guarantee apple's going to crack. But yeah, some woods move more than others. So
Yeah, if you want to see how much fruit wood moves, make a cowboy hat out of fruit wood. It'll go football shape in an hour. Tim, you said when you turn it wet, you'll benefit some things. For novice turners or beginners, or folks that just have nothing else to do with their life and they're going to turn wood, you get a piece of wet wood, you will learn what your tool does or supposed to do. You will learn that a gouge is not supposed to be a plow, it's supposed to be a slicing tool. You'll learn how to part things off with a skew, and don't believe that point's always going to be at the top. Skews is cutting edge, how you present it. Same thing with your scraper. And remember, your scrapers, it's good for 1 pass, maybe 2 passes. It needs to have the edge put back on it. But if you do wet wood, you will learn all that in a quicker, easier lesson than you will if you think you really have to turn dry wood. I love it if it's got a little moisture in it and moves. And I'm in South Louisiana. We don't have the mold that Kim has. We taught them how to get it.
Let me add something from that real dry environment. When I took a class with Stuart Batty out in Vegas, where it's very dry, whenever we turned anything, we were turning wet wood, but everything he had, he was previously wrapped in plastic, and if we left it to go eat lunch, we wrapped it in plastic before we left it on the lathe. So anytime you're turning that wet wood in that real dry environment, you need to cover it just like that, just like you see that picture there. You need to wrap it in plastic. Don't let it sit around until you've got ready to finish it, and then wax it to let it dry, or just finish it off the first time.
In fact, out here, or at least, here in Tucson, Arizona, that's why another reason why I have the bottled waters, because of the heat that is created from the friction while your tools are cutting. That's going to create additional drying effect to the wood as well, and that'll cause cracking opportunities or cracking instances if you don't pay that special mind. So to eliminate all, just keep it wet, and then by the time you get it down to your final dimensions, all the moisture is gone, and you don't have to worry about it warping or anything. So you can go from it being green and wet to your 1/4 inch, 3/16, 1/8 inch wall thickness, and it's done. It's dried. So
good. I had a class with somebody from the Ag Center here in Louisiana, and the guy was very plain and simple about it. You talk about a spray bottle to wet it. He explained that scientifically, you can't replace cellular water once it leaves wood.
Correct.
You can't put cellular water back in. But you're spraying with a bottle reduces the loss of cellular water. So, and if you think, well, I don't want to turn it wet, hey, 30 seconds of spinning, it's not wet anymore. It's either came out or been pushed through. So that little spray bottle is awesome for it. I've always had mine. And then if the dog needs to get out, it's the same thing. So, all right. Anybody else up this evening?
Oh, well, yeah. So since we're talking about the spray bottle, I know you can't buy a spray bottle. It's gone extinct because of COVID, but they still sell Windex. So Windex is $2 a bottle. Just buy a bottle of Windex, dump it out, and fill it with water. Now you got a water bottle.
Great idea.
Hey, Kim, how much is Windex at the dollar store?
$1. Is that a trick question?
No, I mean, you're a dollar store shopper. You have to be.
I'm a dollar store junkie. It's $1. It's actually cheaper at Walmart. They sell it for 98 cents. Windex.
Wow.
Amazing what you'll find out there. Well, folks, it's been 2.5 hours or so, and it's time to call in a night. Unless you have something we need to chat about, let's chat. Otherwise, we're going to be back here again next Wednesday evening, 6:30 Central Daylight Time. We will turn on the machines. we'll start talking to you, and we want you to talk to us. We're looking for your demonstrations, looking for your photographs, your videos, your tips, your tricks, your problems. We'll cover them all. All you have to do is get involved in your wood turning club. And our website is worldwidewoodturners.org. Our email is worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, and pretty much any other place we can get it to. We pass the word of wood turning to wood turners. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. It's been my pleasure. I love this.
Thank you, Eddie, for starting all this.
How it's going to be a year next week.
I know. Thank you. I just found out about it today.
Wow. Well, welcome.
I saw your video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care. Be good. Stay dry, Johnny.
Good job, Dane.
Night, everybody.
Good night now.
Howdy, y'all.
night, all.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks a lot, everyone. A lot of fun.
Good night.
Save your chat. Save your chat. Save your chat.
Where are you?